After you got your seating position right and know the little tips to help you while driving, it's time to get a little bit into the driving itself. The first things we need to cover are some basic interactions with the car. And what are the things you use to interact with your car? The steering wheel and the pedals. Those are the things you use to control the car and make it do exactly what you want. That's why it's very important to know how to use them the right way. We will start with the steering inputs. In order to have the best possible feel, control, and so on over the steering wheel, the first thing to know is how to hold it right. You might think that this is not something very hard, but actually, even though it seems odd, there are a lot of people who don't know how to hold the wheel the correct way. That's, in the majority of cases, because the wrong habits were built up since driving school. Many driving instructors teach their students to hold the wheel on the 10 and 2 o'clock position, which is something very wrong. Now will be a good time to clarify something real fast. You may be asking, what is this 10 and 2 o'clock? Actually, all around the world it is accepted the steering wheel to be referred to as a clock, and the hours on the clock to be different positions on the steering wheel. That way, it's very convenient to know every single position on the wheel at all times. Have you imagined it already? Good, because we will need it a lot in this part. After that's out of the way, let's get back to the proper position. It is only one, and it's at 9 and 3 o'clock. And if you're wondering, there is a very simple explanation for that. When holding the wheel at 9 and 3 o'clock, you're actually holding it at the two exact opposite sides. That gives you the maximum turning radius without the need to release the wheel. It is important because in a given situation when you need to act as fast as possible, you'll have a full 180 degrees turning radius to avoid it and get out of it. If in the same situation you're holding the wheel at, let's say, 12 o'clock, a favorite position for many drivers, you will actually have only 90 degrees of radius that can turn out to be very insufficient. Okay, so now you're holding the wheel at the right position. What's next? The interaction with it, and most importantly, how to turn it. Here, there are two main methods that you can use: pre-positioning your hands on it, also known as preemptive steering, and fixed input steering, with transferring your hands while turning if needed. Which one to use will mainly be determined by one thing: do you know the corner that's in front of you or not? In most cases, while on the track, the answer to this question will be yes, so it will be more preferable to use the predefined grips that we are going to show you right now. That doesn't mean you cannot use the other method as well, it's totally up to you. For convenience, we will divide them into just three main categories that will be determined by the corners you'll need them for. The first one will be for corners with bigger radiuses, let's say up to 90 degrees. You'll need to transfer your right hand for right corner or left hand for left corner at the top of the wheel or the 12 o'clock position like this. Then you'll pull the wheel with that hand, leaving your other hand with unchanged place. The whole movement must finish in this position. We will touch why all of this is so important and how it will help you in a minute. The second grip is going to be for corners with a little smaller radiuses, 90 to 180 degrees. You'll again need to transfer your right hand for right corner or left hand for left corner, but this time it'll be right above your other hand. Then you'll, like in the first case, pull the wheel with that hand, leaving your other hand with unchanged position. The whole movement must finish in this place. And lastly, the third grip is going to be used for very sharp corners. This time it will be a little harder because here the transferring of your recording hand must be below your other one. Then, when you pull the wheel with that hand, you must release the wheel with the other completely, leaving it, again, with unchanged position. The whole movement must finish like that. Pretty complex? Let's show this last one once again. This whole philosophy has only one thing in mind, that at all times your hands are always in the 9 and 3 o'clock position no matter what. That means that you have the biggest possible radius for correction of the steering wheel. It is a technique actually adopted by rally drivers, so that must tell you something. The other method we talked about is a lot simpler. It consists of turning the wheel without releasing it and just transferring one of your hands over the other in order to finish the movement if needed. All this may seem a little overwhelming for you, but we assure you that it will be something that will drastically improve your driving skills, not only on the track, but in your daily driving as well. That's why we suggest you try and practice those grips and wheel rotations every day while driving to work. You'll see that you will transfer them to a subconscious level this way and start doing them without thinking about it. The next thing after the steering wheel is, of course, the pedals. Here the things are not so hard like with the wheel. The most important thing you must know is that you have to be on one of the pedals at all times. What that means is there mustn't be a time, especially on the track, when your feet are off the pedals. You must always accelerate, brake, or change gears. This way you ensure you have control of the car at all times, no matter what. And that of course doesn't mean you must overlap 2 pedals at a time. Bear it in mind. Now, after you know how to control your car, there is only one more thing to get out of the way, and it applies both to the steering wheel and pedals. That is precision. You must be calm, fast, and precise every time you're behind the wheel. Just be gentle with your inputs on the car. Try to be fast and precise and not aggressive combined with unwanted and sharp movements. Every sharp braking, acceleration, or steering input throws the balance of the car off, and it becomes easier for it to lose traction and control. Smooth operation of your vehicle is crucial for its performance. Be conscious of your driving skills, improve yourself, and learn your car with every lap, and don't make things you're still not comfortable with or are not sure about. When on the track, don't try to beat the lap record on your first drive ever. Respect the road, track, and your surroundings, and they will respect you back.